That is the. I mean, it's like a lot of MAC teams,
Lower tier.
and a lot of teams that didn't make the tournament that play in like division.
It's
3 or 4
Thursday night. Why isn't my thing working? It's Thursday night, 7 o'clock. It's Tackle Shop Live. Happy Easter, everybody.
Sunny day, right there you took my breath away. Young and pretty, was it just a dream? The next day you called me up, you told me I'm your little buttercup. You came over and you fell into
Patrick
my
Kingrey,
heart.
what do you say, buddy?
Well, I know what I feel.
Lane Graves, what do you say, pal? How are you doing? Robert Murray, down in Tennessee, buddy. Good to see you, pal. Yeah. Frank Garvey, what's up? Shopey, what's happening, bud? Jim Saban's in the house. Yes, sir. Conway, my man. How are you, pal? Iron Outdoorsman, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, Michael Bradley's here. Yeah, Lime Green Fishing Machine. How the heck are you, pal? Yeah. Hoops, what do you say, pal? Jay Sandberg. Whoa. Mark, how are you, buddy? Robert Mills is here. Mike Hare, how are you? Joseph Cascarino, how are you, Joe?
Please tell me our love is real. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when
Yeah, baby. David Schottlemeyer. Gio. Jeff Santangelo. Good to see you, Jeff. Thomas Buckley, East Stacks Fishing. Ronaldo. Danny Paust, how are you? Edward Ranowski. Jerry Kaiser. Yeah, Kevin Herr. Kevin, you ready for trout or what, buddy? That's what I'm talking about. Come on. Yeah, baby. Fern, what do you say, buddy? Yeah, man, we got everybody here. David Schottlemeyer, Al Armold, Ed Ranowski, Mike Barr. Hey, Mikey. Rob Stern, what's up, man? George Ashford, how are you doing, buddy? Hope those rods are working out all right for you. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Everybody's here tonight. Good to see everybody. Joe Hepp, how are you, pal? Man, I'm going to tell you right now, what a great week this has been. We've been having a great old time here, getting ready for the big trout season. Hey, Nick, did I tell you about our bait?
Oh, yeah. This is good.
Huh?
Tell us.
We got the best bait ever. We got the best bait ever. Our bait has been in absolute training, like marine training. You know, I mean, I'm serious. We put them through a serious training session, our minnows. We got the best fathead minnows and rosy reds you've ever seen. They're trained professionals. So much so, Nick, you don't even need hooks.
Now that's
how
right
badass
there.
our bait is. I'm telling you.
They just clamp on.
They just go out there and kick ass when they're in the water, man. They just knock them all out and bring them all in. I am telling you what, man. I am excited for the trout season coming up, starting Saturday. Everybody's fired up. Stallion's over here, man. He's all fired up. He's got the whole week off, so he's hanging out with us tonight, getting ready for the big trout derbies and the trout fishing coming up. But you know, Pennsylvania has thousands and thousands and thousands of miles of awesome fishing, you know, trout fishing waters. It's one of the greatest states in the country for trout fishing. And you know, we have hundreds of miles, and I think they even said thousands of miles of natural trout waters, you know, where they don't even stock them anymore. It's all natural fishing. And they stock over 4 million fish. And the way they do it is they state raises 3.8 million. And then they have cooperatives with clubs like sportsmen's clubs and all kinds of cool clubs that raise these fish, for stocking purposes in cooperation with the state. So that's another 1 million fish, Stallion. Did you know that? Yeah. And they put some monsters in, and they put some great trout fishing in. But what really got me is how the natural trout fishing, the thousands of miles of natural trout waters we have. That's really cool that you can fish also and catch some of those native and natural brown trouts. So pretty cool stuff. It's all coming up starting on Saturday. And, we're looking we got great weather this year. We're not going to be freezing to death like we do every other year. It's got some great weather coming up for Saturday. Sunday's not looking too good. It's going to drop off a little bit. Going to have some cool rainy day on Sunday, but that's when I'm going. Nobody will be out. I'll be there. I got rain gear to keep me nice and dry. So,
So Mike, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
So you're going to go out trout fishing.
Yeah.
What is going to be tied on for your first cast?
Yeah, well, I mean, these are stocky, so I put on the Berkeley Power Bait Trout Worm.
Okay.
And I have to see what color the water is, but it's either going to be the chartreuse one or the pink one. And that thing over the years, man, last year I just caught so many fish on those. Those stock fish, they can't resist it. It's just crazy how they eat that thing. So that's going to be fun to throw that thing around. I love fishing it. It's a lot of fun to fish it. And but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And the last 2 weeks I've been out bass fishing for all you haters, all the haters out there. I've been bass fishing the last 2 weekends and bass fishing hard, catching some smallmouth. George and I have been terrorizing those smallies out on the Susquehanna River here, and it's been good. It's been good fishing. Tough, of course. Cold fronts for George is just like a normal thing, but we figure them out and we catch them. And so for all you haters, I'm still bassing.
Oh, you're really bassing.
Oh, yeah.
And Mike, with that, is the water temperature staying consistent, or are you seeing a fluctuation?
A lot of fluctuation, Nick. I mean, this time of year, as well as I do, you'll get everything from, I talked to a guy who fished a local lake, and they had 58-degree water temperature.
Wow.
Back in way back in a cove during one of those warm spells. But today, I think the high was like 42 or 43 degrees today. So, that's going to knock it back. And there's a big derby this weekend on that same lake that those guys are fishing. So they're going to have to do some work, to figure them out again. Maybe the fish won't pull back real far, but already we had that. Now the river we're fishing, the best we found was 50. And it just really didn't get there that good. So we've been struggling with, maybe it got to 52 during the week when we were working, and then the cold front comes on the weekend and it knocks it back a few degrees. So scatters the fish out. And, but we've been catching some good ones. We had some couple good 4-pounders, 4.5 pounders. So it's been good, but, man, thanks everybody for stopping in tonight. Tackle Shop Live. We come at you every Thursday night here at 7:00. My name is Mike Acord. This is George Acord. And behind the camera is cameraman Nick. And some of you guys tune in early and watch Nick's pre-Tackle Shop Live, where he does his thing, talking about all the good stuff that he does and the tackle and whatnot. So it's pretty cool. You get a good shot of great information on this show. The best we can give it to you. We do all kinds of neat stuff, from tackle talk, talking about tackle, because we are Tackle Shop and we love it, to tackle techniques. And now we have a great series called the Rig of the Week, and that's been going really well. And we come up with these different rigs of the week. Some of them are you haven't heard about, some of them you have. And for everybody that watches, some guys know about them, some guys don't, but something for you to learn. And that's what we love to do. So we're going to kick off the show here in a few minutes.
Mike, you want to know what the big talk was on Pre-Tackle Shop Live today? Was it's only 15 days until buy-in starts for SummerSlam.
Man, we are so excited for SummerSlam. Nick, I tell you, that tournament, SummerSlam tournament, for you guys that don't know, is it's just a great fun event for everybody. It's a tournament for everyone. There's no reason not to fish our tournament. Our tournament, everybody is a winner. We have a really cool sponsorship, a bunch of companies that help us out, and it's a buy-in for the entry fee. So you're going to buy in with our sponsors, who is Shimano, G Loomis, Jackal, and Power Pro. Those 4 companies, you can buy in for $250, mix and match whatever you want, and you can mix it up with your partner, so you can split it up, get the money split up between you guys, and split the tackle up between you guys, so that at the end of the day, if you have one of those days, we all have them, and you just couldn't get on anything. You came in with a small bag and you just didn't get the money. Guess what? You get to keep your tackle. So basically everybody wins. That's the reason for our tournament. And the other thing, Nick, about our tournament, and you know this as well as anybody, Nick, the fathers and sons, the fathers and daughters, Nick, the grandfathers and grandchildren, like your dad and your son fish together a couple different times. Husbands and wives, aunts and uncles. It's really a family affair. And that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted everybody to be able to fish a tournament and feel like that they were involved and they had fun and they had a good time and they were competitive and they got a chance to experience what a good tournament is all about. This isn't no regular tournament. This is a 200 boat tournament, and it is a blast, an absolute blast. At the weigh-in, we have a good time. We do tackle toss at the weigh-in. We do great stuff at the weigh-in. It's just a lot of fun. It's a good time. We crown a champion, and guess what, Nick? The champion gets to come on Tackle Shop Live.
Yeah, they get famous,
and we pick their brains and we make them famous. That's exactly right. So anybody who's been on the fence last year, I heard a lot of people say, man, I really wish I would have got in it. I hope you guys can work it out. Now, the way it works is there's a buy-in period starting April the 15th, and that runs till May the 15th, let's backtrack. April the 17th, Nick, is the start of the buy-in. The tournament is on May 17th. So you have all the way up to the tournament to buy in your entry fee. And you can do that in the shop here at Susquehanna Fish and Tackle in Columbia, Pennsylvania, or you can jump online at sfttackle.com and we will see your order and we'll put you in, and you can download an application off our website, fill it out, send it into us, email it into us. And we're going to go over those specifics as we get closer and make sure everybody's registered properly so that we have a really nice, smooth registration in the morning. And, man, we have a side option pot. We have a lunker, that you can get into. And who knows, you might get lucky and catch that big fish and get some of that money, that you can throw in extra if you want to. But you don't have to. It's a lot of fun. It's for everybody. And we all have a great time, and it's all about having a good time down there. And we hope to see everybody get in. But it is a 200 boat tournament, and it will fill up. Guaranteed it's going to fill up, so we don't want to leave anybody on the bank. For all of our listeners here, we want to make sure you get in, so don't wait. When April 17th comes around, make sure you get in the first couple of weeks. Otherwise, you might be sitting on the bank. So,
right.
What do you got, Nick?
So, good. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait. But I have a question now. George is over here. I couldn't wait to ask this one. You said that one of the lakes, a part of a lake, was higher temperatures, almost 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Now, what ends up happening, and I want your guys' thoughts on this, ends up happening is we tell ourselves what should be happening.
Yeah.
What does that first heat of the year do? And does it do what we think it does? Does it bring all them fish up? Should we already be thinking about spawn, any of that stuff?
I mean, it's a difficult time of the year. I don't care. If you have stable weather for several days and you have that 60 degrees for several days, that's what makes the difference. That's when you really see what's going to be happening. Of course, early in the year, the big females come up and sniff around early. They're the ones that come up and dominate the area because they are the dominant fish. So that's a great time of the year to fish shallow and possibly luck into one of those great big fish because they're up there sniffing around. But when you get those warm blasts, it doesn't necessarily mean that the fish are what you're perceiving, like you're saying that, oh man, these fish are going to be up shallow. They're going to be eaten up shallow, because it doesn't just happen like that. There's a lot of things involved which draw the fish up, and if as we always say, Nick, if you look at the bait, you'll see what stage the fish are in. So if the bait starts coming out of the deep water and starts moving shallow, then the fish will follow for sure. But that first heat wave to me is one of the most frustrating because you really in your mind you're thinking we're going to kill them today, and it's just the opposite. You're still struggling. The water temperature is 3 inches below the surface is 45. So that's the thing about it. So that's my take on it, George.
Well, the don't feel bad. Don't feel bad if you've straight sucked the last few weeks, especially if you live mid-Atlantic, Northeast. We've had just a typical March.
Yeah.
You get the.
What'd you say the other day? In with the lion,
out with the dirty dishwater.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. I don't think that's the way it went, but that's what he said.
I think so. If you look that up, you probably would find out. Loosely translated from Latin, that's what that means.
Okay.
But the thing about you have to. So here's the deal about March in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic region. And really, it applies to anywhere coming out of winter. Obviously, the Southeast is way ahead of us. The last tournament we just watched on the Elite Series, they were fishing a shad spawn, and there's a few fish on bed. So, it's a long, pronounced period. But when as you're coming out of the winter spell, and here it's March, you have to have realistic expectations. Most of us work a job, so our fishing days are dictated by our job schedule
when we're off. Yeah.
And our family schedule.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that doesn't jive with those beautiful warming trends that you get in that time frame.
Yeah.
And when you get those warming trends, there is excellent fishing to be had.
Yeah, no doubt.
But as soon as the first 20-degree night and cold front roll through,
again, back in. Yep.
The party is over.
Knocks them back, man. Knocks them back, makes it frustrating.
And a lot of times when those fish back off, they scatter. They almost go back into that in-between time, that winter to early pre-spawn, like just scatter. And so, use your knowledge, use your smarts, look at your weather, look at your conditions on your lake or your river, and set realistic expectations for yourself. And that means that, maybe on a body of water that, you normally catch, let's say you're fishing a little club tournament or a Bubba scale tournament with your buddies, you normally under the right conditions would catch 18 pounds, maybe 13 to 15 is pretty good. So it's not, it's kind of a major pet peeve of mine, to listen to like the talk, two things to listen to, like this week we've had beautiful weather. We've had 80-degree days, multiple. We're going to have one again tomorrow. And to like compare it to last weekend. Well, it's absolutely nothing like last weekend. It's like 100 years separated from last weekend. I'm telling you, we need to invent the Men in Black pen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't remember last weekend, because last weekend isn't going to play like
This weekend.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Right?
And George, I got a question for you. So you're right. One weekend it could be 18 pounds, next week 13. If you're in a tournament, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the slugfest? Do you prefer the cold come in and it gets tough and all that? What do you guys prefer for yourself? You get to be greedy on this one. You get to do what you want to do.
So to be honest with you, as far as local tournaments are concerned,
Right.
my answer today is way different than my answer of a younger George. I just don't have the free time like I used to have. So I really like the kind of weather that they're forecasting for this Sunday. A high in the 40s with wind and rain. Because,
Levels the playing field a little bit.
there's a lot of people that are going to be leaving early.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
Yeah.
people who are their head will not be in the derby. Even if it's just, like 4 buddies, 2 boats, steel cage death match. I mean, you want that like bad atmosphere there, right?
We call them, George. George and I love the grinders.
Yeah, we
do
do.
too.
We love
Absolutely.
we love the grinders, man. We love to grind
We
it
do.
out. We love to work super hard to get that bag, because a lot of people they just lose it.
Well, by 9 o'clock, you have the fields out.
Honestly,
Well, I mean, guys, even
Honestly.
if we're just all going out fun fishing, right? I mean, I want to have, like, in my mind, I want to say, the conditions aren't good.
yeah.
The weather, cold front, probably didn't do us any favors. So, if you're fishing local waters, you have a good idea of what to expect.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm happy with catching, 5 to 8 fish a day under those circumstances. It's not a deal for me to be like, disappointed in that. Now when you fish a tournament like the last 2 weekends on the Chesapeake Bay, which is our local tournament venue,
Yeah.
and you come in with 22 pounds feeling good and you don't cash a check, well, your expectation should have been 23 pounds. And you shouldn't have been happy with 22 pounds because the weather was perfect
It was
for that
perfect for it.
situation.
Yeah.
So, I call it like unrealistic expectations. And I just think that's the worst thing mentally for an angler. Right. And here's the other thing, guys. This one here. If you're not like with me on this one, this can be interesting. When you have those early, late winter, early pre-spawn events or days of fishing, I'm not even talking I'm just talking fishing. And you have had one bite up until noon, but the forecast is for a nice afternoon. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the weather is going to like help you. The sun beating on that west-northwest facing bank.
Mm.
The
With
sun,
some rock on it.
Yes,
A little deep water.
a
Getting
mud
close to it.
bottom, rock. The sun beating on Dead End Canal on a northwest facing bank.
12:30 in the afternoon when everybody's like sitting there in their chair, fishing. It's time to get your game face on because they're moving up, baby.
Yeah, and those fish, they don't rationalize like we do. They react to conditions, and those conditions. And here's another. And this was our last 2 weekends. So freaking textbook. We couldn't get bit on power fishing to save our life until we did, and that was later in the day.
Mhm.
And you had to just kind of, again, take the Men in Black pen, zip, and say, well, I'm going to catch the random big fish. It's not going to be the pattern, but the random big fish. Because those big fish are like, feeling pretty good. Maybe a little crawfish etouffee, maybe a little shad smoothie. I'm moving up. Check out the situation. See who's at the bar.
Yeah.
See you down there. What's up?
How you doing, brother?
And you just got to be ready for that.
Yeah.
You have to forget the last
4
5 hours
Yeah.
of your day.
Yeah. Hard to do.
Some people hang on to that like grim death.
Well, you know what's interesting about that, what always gave me hope recently even, is watching the elites. You'll see that the guys like the later flights, they're catching fish after lunchtime. Like you just see that the thing going,
Yeah.
doom.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, they waited all day. Some of them didn't even have a fish.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they're loaded up with
They're loaded up,
18
yeah.
pounds or whatever. It's like, there you
Yeah.
go.
That's
how it
exactly
works.
what it is. A lot of things can happen in 8 hours, and you got to remember that, and you got to stay focused for the solid 8 hours. You're going to lose your focus sometime during the day. You need to stop, sit down, drink some water. Maybe like George, he brings a nice thermos of coffee. Sit there, drink a nice little coffee, kind of regroup, look at the birds flying around, whatever. Refocus yourself, jump back up on that deck, get those rods out, and just restart the day again. And if you can do that, then those afternoons are really, really special. And I think that's what the pros do so well. They know that, first of all, they know when they're going to bite, and they know that they're not sweating it when they only have one fish by 11 o'clock in the morning. They're like, these fish are going to come on. They're going to start biting. This is what's going to happen, and I'm going to catch this. They just know that. And I fished with a guy in a big tournament, Elite Series tournament, and I was catching them. I was catching them on trash fishing, just throwing freaking whatever. And I was catching these fish, and he's like, "Yeah," he said, you're doing the right thing." He said, "My time's coming." He said, "My time's coming. Once everything gets right, my time's coming." And it was just amazing how calm the guy was when I was putting these fish in the boat.
Yeah, that's a confidence, right? there.
And he's just like, "My time's coming. My time's coming. You go ahead, buddy. You get all you can get because my time's coming." And sure as shit. And I'm not kidding you. In like 30 minutes, he had 18 pounds.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Steve Kennedy. Yeah, it was amazing. He told me that over and over. He said, "My time's coming."
Well, let me ask you this, Mike. Could you have been that calm if you were in his position?
Well, I mean, you look at what's on those guys' plate and what pressure they're under. And now that guy's mental capabilities of staying calm, extraordinary. Just, yeah, my time's coming, buddy. Yeah, that's a good fish. Here, let me help you with it. That's a good one. Hey, did you ever see this lure before? He's reaching in the box, showing me one of these lures. Hey, did you ever see one of them before? I got that from Japan. And look at the color on that thing. Not even fishing. And just staying real limber in his head and mind. And the other guy that I really, really impressed with that, and that was that big, tall guy that was here, George, ate all our chicken. When we had, he fishes for the MLF.
Boy, I hate when you throw these bombs on me like this.
He ate all of our chicken, remember? Comes walking in, it was freezing cold, got in his truck and left. What the hell is his name? The big fishes with
Andy Montgomery.
Andy Montgomery. Just laid back, man, not even worried about anything. That's that mentality that those guys have, that they just can stay loose. And you know what happens when you stay loose like that, Nick? You just make great decisions.
I agree.
You know what you do? You just go fishing. And look at all the days we've had practicing where we're just having fun, or we're just out fishing. We're just having fun, and we figure something out real good, and we end up with a great day. And you're just like, "Oh man, it was a great day.
Nothing goes wrong."
And nothing goes wrong, and you're just, you're loose. You're making those great decisions. As soon as you start getting competitive to a point where, and I fight with this a lot. George knows I do. I fight with this. When you're just not doing it, and you're just starting to trying to force feed them, you're done. You are done, man. You are just, might as well just take the boat and put it on a trailer and wet track, because you're just out of it. And a lot of people are like that. They get devastated by 10 o'clock in the morning because it didn't happen the way they thought it was going to happen, and they don't stay loose. I always think, I try to always think of Andy Montgomery, always try to think of Steve Kennedy with that mind thought. And a lot of times I just sit down and retie or drink a cup of coffee and just sit there and watch George fish for a couple of minutes, because I got to get out of it. You know, I got to recheck. I got to hit the handle, man, and reset, because George knows I get rammy, don't I, bro?
A little bit.
So,
well, the other thing I really like about it is, you know, as a hardcore student of the game, it's a phenomenal opportunity to learn something.
yeah.
Okay. You're not catching fish. You're not catching them the way you think you should be catching them. You're probably catching them as good as you should be catching them, but you're not catching them as good as you think you should be catching them. And it's a great time to go through your library of, you know, bass fishing wisdom, you know, analyze your conditions that you're in.
Yeah.
And literally do anything different than what you're doing.
Yeah.
But think it through and say, hey, you know what? I am going to run to some rock. I haven't fished rock all day. I'm going to go fish some docks and bulkheads. I haven't fished that all day. I'm going to go shallow. I've been fishing deep all day. I'm going to go deep. I've been fishing shallow all day. I'm going to finesse fish. I've been power fishing all day. I'm going to power fish. I've been finesse fishing.
Yeah, honestly.
Anything. But think it through, make a decision, and have a discussion with yourself as to why you made that decision, and then go do it.
Yeah.
Start your motor up, drive your boat there. I can tell you this much, the worst thing that you can do is not catch anything.
Yeah.
That's as bad as it's going to be.
It was that bad before you switched.
And then maybe you get a bite.
Or it does. It gives you a clue, and
or maybe you don't get a bite.
And maybe you don't get a bite. You go, okay, well that didn't work, so now I can do this. And you try that next thing.
I was thinking about this.
Yeah.
All right, let's go do that.
Just go fishing. You know, that's the thing. Stay calm.
You know, it's a great opportunity to learn something, right? So, in my fishing, there's been things I've learned in tournament fishing that have happened on complete failures. There's been things I've learned in pre-fishing for tournaments that have happened on complete failures. There's things that I didn't learn that I learned later, and I'm like, oh my God, I had the greatest opportunity in the world, only I was too stupid to know it. So you're never always learning. You know, it's like Glenn Ross, always be closing, baby.
Well, yeah, and for me personally, on days where I'm very successful, I don't learn as much as when I fail. When I have a bad day, that's when I learn the most.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always that interesting to me. It's like, man, when I do really good, you think you got it figured out.
Yeah.
Then you get humbled.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap. I guess I didn't learn as much as I thought I did.
Yeah.
That's when you start to really learn.
Yeah.
You know, something I'd like to say here, guys, is and this is a great discussion. I hope you guys are enjoying this discussion as much as we are, because this is like real conversation.
It's a good check.
You know, if you've just signed in, you're watching Tackle Shop Live with cameraman Nick, Mike, and I'm George. And we are discussing all things frustrating about early pre-spawn, and also all kinds of great possibilities of early pre-spawn. And now we're discussing tremendous learning opportunities of early pre-spawn. So my thing is this: if you do actually learn something from it, you know, and I remember a tournament on Kerr Reservoir, and I actually called Mike the last day of practice. I was idling in an upper Lake Creek. And I was looking for, I wasn't even fishing. I was just looking for, I had it dialed into the point where I could tell you I will catch a fish there. And I was just idling up this creek, putting waypoints on my GPS because you can't remember everything. It's a big lake. And I was 30 miles from the boat ramp, and I had all kinds of stuff in between there. And I called Mike. He was back here manning the shop
Working.
so that I could fish. And I said, look, there's a superb chance that I'm going to win this tournament. I am dialed in like on all 5 points that you can lock in on. And, I just want you to know I'm feeling good about it. So the next morning, blast off, they call my number, and I decided to run up to this creek. I had a beaver hut in the back of this pocket that was just infested with largemouth, like ticks. And I had a Reaction Innovation sweet beaver. I remember this tournament's 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Goby color. And I'm going to have a big limit in like an hour. And I have to troll back in there. That's how shallow it was. I was fishing so shallow that I went until I couldn't trim my motor up any higher. And then I trolled for a while. And as I'm trolling in, I see like a group of 5 largemouths swimming out. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. I'm trolling. They're going this way. I'm going this way. Something is definitely wrong, right? But I don't put it together yet. And I got my trolling motor just smoking on high, and I get back a little farther, and here comes like 10 or 12 of them, some nice ones too. And I got, 3 flipping sticks on the front deck, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool, right? So I go a little farther, and I'm like, holy shit. All my fish are leaving the pockets today. So I put my trolling motor on high, and I'm trying to drive the trolling motor and open up the rod locker and get out a spinning rod, which I didn't even rig a spinning rod because I wasn't using spinning rods because I was going to flip up. The only other person that was ever going to have as dramatic a finish on that lake as me was David Fritz. And I was just probably going to beat his finish. And I came blasting through there. Got my spinning rod, rigged it, tied on a wacky rig. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never seen cruising bass like this before in my life. And I literally chased them all the way out of the secondary creek channel I was in to the main creek, and I watched them swim towards the lake. And I'm like, huh. So I fired up and I ran to the next spot, vacant. Fired up, I ran to the next spot, vacant. And I'm like, I won practice. But the lesson I learned was you better learn how to catch cruisers. You better learn how to fish a wacky worm. And, you're way behind. Way behind. So the rest of that summer, because that was a post-spawn tournament. That was in the middle of June. And the rest of that summer, and for, a while after that, I mastered the wacky rig. I mastered super shallow cruisers. But it was a day late and $1 short. But from failure comes knowledge. So, learn those things. Give us your example. Go on to our social and put on there a cool little short story about something that did that to you. Robert Brett's A-Rig. Robert Brett's, there was no such thing as an A-Rig. The A-Rig had yet to even been thought of by Mr. A-Rig.
There also was no forward facing at that time.
There was no forward facing.
Spot lock.
That was 20 years ago. I was running a low rants, probably about a 8-inch screen. Probably about a 7-inch screen up front. Everything was flush mounted. And they were good 2D units. Don't get me wrong. And they even had GPS on them. And it was all good. But if you took all the electronics on that boat, including the bilge pumps, and added them together, they do not equal what like one graph with forward facing cost on my boat today.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Well, as long as you learn something. Now, it only take me 2 pockets to figure out that them son of bitches were gone, and I just start fishing a little deeper.
You know what I was on now? Here's
Why did it take you so long?
Can I tell you the funniest side story to that? Can I tell you the absolute funniest side story to that? I caught 3 snapping turtles that day.
Gosh. The heck?
Well, I was too stupid to quit flipping.
Oh.
The only freaking thing left in them bushes and sticks anymore
It was snapping turtles.
was snapping turtles. And it wasn't even bushes because the lake was falling. Oh, now you tell me. The lake was falling.
That big water line on them bushes didn't tell you
It took
anything.
forever to trolling motor back in there because it was so shallow. They were leaving. I wonder why. Oh.
Man.
Boom.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
I know it now, though.
Mm-hmm.
I know it now.
I like this one here. In the words of Yoda, you must unlearn what you have learned.
I love that. I love that. And the best way to do that is with one of them Men in Black pens.
That's a good one, Patrick. All right. Well, let's move on here. We're gonna jump in.
Sure what we were talking about.
We were just talking, you know, how to
I loved it.
you know, how to fish in the spring when it's freaking tough.
That's real talk.
That's real talk right there. Absolutely.
And you know, last week on the show we talked.
It's called getting your ass kicked and then trying to figure out what the hell you did.
But last week on the show we talked down and dirty early bassing.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna, you know what?
Yeah.
In a little bit we're gonna go there again because I have some fun stuff for that.
Stallion. Somebody's saying Stallion's in the house. Yeah, Mark.
Oh, wait a minute
Mark,
here.
wait.
Hold on. Hold the phone. Stallion, right here between me and Mike. Okay, for all you out there, SFT has a badass crew. Okay,
We do have a badass crew.
badass crew, and different people work on different days. And the Stallion doesn't work today, but the Stallion showed up because he knew that his boys were going to be fighting the trout battle because it gets real busy real quick. But I want everybody out there to meet the Stallion. Now, the other thing about SFT crew that you got to understand is, you got to understand a couple things.
You get
So-
an employee of the week, the month, the year.
So the SFT crew, you know, we're like any of you guys that have a great job with a great crew. That's what we are. We have a great crew. We have a great job.
Yeah.
But we
We have a good
also
old time.
we also have nicknames which I assign. This is the Stallion. Stallion, give us a profile view. Profile sideways.
That's good. He's got it.
Now you see this
Yeah.
flowing mane up here, the white flowing mullet, like a prize-winning stallion, Arabian stallion, prancing across the fairgrounds. That's how he got his name of Stallion. But if you've never been here before, the Stallion has a clock with his face on it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he also has Employee of the Month koozies.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll see you at the creek.
The next item coming up on the Stallion's personal list of items, these will be for sale, by the way, very soon, is the Stallion sticker with his catchphrase, "Hey, I'll meet you at the creek." So now you all know the Stallion. You met the Stallion.
Yeah.
We love the Stallion.
We love the Stallion.
Stallion's got a clock. Stallion's got koozies.
Yeah, we got the Stallion. We got Skeeter Steve.
We have Skeeter Steve.
Yep. We got cameraman Nick.
We have cameraman Nick.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we got some good ones.
We do.
Yep.
All right. So back on point, gentlemen.
All right, George, let's move on, buddy. Let's get this show rolling here.
This show's been rolling, son.
We got a lot to talk about.
We've been rolling.
And we're going to jump right into our favorite part of our show, and that's called Tackle Talk.
Yeah, dog.
Tanner says, send it in the boil. Tanner says, send it to the boil. Yeah, he'll deal with him later. Tanner's that's a good one, Tanner. He said, send it in the boil. Send it in the boil.
Well, listen,
what do we got going on, George?
I'm going to cut this back a hair just because we've been
what's
going
hot?
on and on.
What's hot? I mean, the thing is that there's always some great stuff going on here. And I want to know what it is today.
I'm going to say
what's happening.
I just crossed one out. I'm saving for next week. Just in the essence of time. I gotta tell you, I got something here that is way different. Way different. So we all like G-Crack.
Love G-Crack.
And we love that SAF, that salt amino acid flavor, which we lovingly call Fritos.
Yes, Mark.
So the deal is this. It's heavy on the shrimp scent. So now we have the bubble nail.
What the heck is that?
Well, we're going somewhere.
G-Crack bubble nail.
This is pretty close to a medical procedure right here, but for your baits. So I'm going to show you the bubble nail here.
What's it look like?
The best I can. So it's like a little dart.
Oh, it does look. It has a sharp point
it's got
on
a sharp point on it. It's a little dart. And what we do with the bubble nail is, and I have a demonstration for you. So we take a plastic, and I dip this in the water to get it started, and it's been cooking. So check this out. Get in there tight, Nick. I'm trying to hold this thing up. So it's putting out a little stream of bubbles. It's hard to see. I dropped a leg. It's putting out a real fine stream of bubbles that are shrimp scented. Probably really hard to say.
Is it even doing it?
Oh, yeah.
I think you gotta let it go down to the bottom and let it set down the bottom so we could see it.
See that little cloud coming out of there?
I can see the cloud.
So that is a fine little. I wonder if I just threw one in there without a bait around it.
Throw it in there.
Because it kind of, the bubbles kind of wrap around the bait. Let's try this. I just want you to see.
But the whole time you can see that cloud. It's releasing scent.
Yeah, it's like a little.
It's releasing that scent.
It's like a little It's like your 7-Up is bubbling.
Yeah.
You ready, Nick?
Well, throw it in there. See what happens. Oh my gosh, that's much better.
You can really see it without the bait.
Yeah.
You can smell it too.
What's that? A Richard Pryor thing? Bloop. You can smell it.
See that? It's called the bubbling nail. Now, here's the deal. There's 25 of them in a pack. Now,
that's great, man.
I'm going to let you know how long this bubbles, okay?
Look at that thing going.
I mean, it's putting out some. I mean, it looks like an Alka-Seltzer at work.
Oh, it really does. Calling in those big hogs, Nick.
And you can actually smell the scent.
Yeah.
you can smell the scent. So we're going to see how long this works. I got my high-tech Casio on it. And we'll get back to you on this.
751.
We'll get back to you. No, it's 750.
750.
We'll get back to you on this. But here's the deal. You get 25 of them in a pack.
Wow. That's pretty good.
And they're $8.99. So essentially it's a shrimp scent, like just a cloud of shrimp scent. So you're going to want to fish this on, slow baits.
Yeah.
You're going to want to fish this on, flipping bait.
Flipping bait.
You're going to want to fish this on
jig trailer, like just
bottom contact,
Yeah.
like worms and jigs, and I mean you could put it in your drop shot worm.
Yeah.
And they call it the bubble nail.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
I like it.
Still bubbling around. What you want to do is you want to insert it in your worm about 3/4 of the way so that a little bit of it is exposed to the water so it starts up right away.
Yeah.
And the whole entire cup is now filled with bubbles.
Very cool. Oh, there it went to the top.
It just floated to the top because it's not heavy enough to stay on the bottom.
Still fizzing.
Oh, it's still fizzing. Now, if it was in your bait.
Yeah.
So that's that product. That's new from G-Crack.
Yep. Taste test, George.
Yeah. I mean, I want to go on record as saying I have taken some for the team on this program. Not happening.
Yeah, right. Come on.
Not happening.
That'd be great.
Stallion said he'll pay me to take a sip.
Stallion's offering up $10.
The problem with the Stallion is I don't need $10.
Does it smell, Nick? No, you could. It's solid.
I can smell it on my hands.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So that whole bubble nail.
That's cool.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
No,
3 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Out by itself. I think in a bait it lasts a little longer.
Yeah.
Because I put a jig in a water bottle on Saturday.
Yeah.
With one in it.
Yeah.
And it lasted a good long while because
Yeah.
it wasn't fully exposed.
Right. The whole thing wasn't.
Yeah, pretty
wasn't
cool.
fuzzing.
Pretty cool.
Like
so $8.99 for 25.
Yeah.
Speaking of G-Crack, stay tuned. And of course, we will keep you in the loop. But G-Crack has a badass bait coming. I mean, badass, techie, badass bait. We'll keep teasing it, and we'll keep you in the loop. Stay tuned on that.
Yep.
Okay, so I was sitting back at my desk earlier today, and I'm trying to get like some last minute ideas for the show. I take notes in my book, and I was thinking, like, finesse cranking.
Mm-hmm.
Finesse cranking stuck in my head, and I couldn't get rid of it. All day long, I could not get rid of finesse cranking. And then the reason I couldn't get rid of finesse cranking is for all the reasons we just finished talking about.
Yeah.
Cold fronts, pre-spawn, tough situations, scattering fish. It's good to cover water because they're not grouped up. Sometimes they're grouped up, but you got to find them. Blah, 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 blah. But, sometimes you got to finesse crank. And I got to thinking about a Mega Bass series of cranks. And I'll be honest with you. I kind of think we may have talked about this a while ago, but we didn't all talk about it a while ago because the Tackle Shop live show, people, is growing. We got a lot of new viewers.
Mm-hmm.
We're only second to like Geraldo right now.
Geraldo?
He's still got his beat.
Does he?
Yep. I think it's because of that Jimmy Hoffa thing, but I mean, we're closing the gap. And, we want to thank you all for watching. We don't say it enough because we're trying to get in this make-believe time limit that we have.
Yeah.
But, make sure if you could just take a minute out of your days. I know you're all busy. We are too. We have so many people watching now. It's so impressive and humbling. If you could just like, share, and comment on all of our platforms, that would be great. And I don't know what else you got to do. Maybe click on your screen or press a button or something like that. But if you could do that, that'd be great. Because we're trying to get grown up here a little bit. So let me jump back to this finesse cranking. And I like I said, we may have talked about a couple of these baits, but not all of them at once. And I'm talking about the Mega Bass Super Z1, Z2, and Z3. And I'm telling you, these ain't no joke. If you're ever wondering how good a crankbait is, and usually you get it from like watching a tournament win or your buddy telling you, well, I'm your buddy, and I'm telling you, this is legit. Now, it's a finesse crankbait. Nick, can you show them the size of them hooks? They're size 8 hooks, okay? This is not a crankbait that you throw on 15-pound fluorocarbon and just get crazy with them, right? You want to throw this on your lighter cranking gear, okay? 10-pound line. These are finesse crankbaits. They have a slightly nose down attitude when they run. They deflect very well. They do not snag so much because of that. They don't hit something and go this way or this way. They hit and they kick up, right? Obviously, this has more lip to it. Think of the bill of a crankbait like shoulder pads, okay? I'm trying to get the peanut gallery to shut up back there. Think of the bill of a crankbait like shoulder pads, right? So this is hitting first. That's why you don't get snagged as much. And with that slightly nose down attitude, you're getting that kind of kick that you want. You're not getting this kind of lateral kick into the cover. This is the Z3. You can tell by the longer lip. It is 3/8 of an ounce, where the other two are 1/4. They are finesse crankbaits, but they have a transfer system in them, which is really cool. It's like a little cylinder of tungsten that rolls on some little micro beads, like little metal bearings, almost ball bearings, not around, but this way. So it transfers real well. It casts great. This little guy here will run 13 feet deep. Okay, look at those colors, man. Look at that color. Look, this is Mega Bass, right? Mega Bass don't play. This is UZ shad. Give me a break. You want to talk about a cold water, cold front power fishing technique.
Tell you another thing, Nick, about these finesse crankbaits is post spawn, when the fish are like fry garters, and they're roaming the bank, back and forth on the bank. This is a great bait when that bite gets really super tough, to throw a finesse crankbait and cover the whole bank, in between the trees, in between the docks. You got a dock, you got an area between.
Do nothing.
And just that do nothing, where they're just cruising the banks back and forth. And it's a great post spawn size. It's a very unintimidating, but it's more of a natural size that the fish will just gulp up, and when things aren't happening and you're really struggling, that June 15th, you're like, what the hell, all the fish are just cruising, you can't catch them. That's a fry garter bait, and I don't think people talk about it. People don't talk about a finesse crankbait at all. You don't hear about it on, but I'm telling you, These guys are throwing these things. And Iconelli always says, if you ever go back and look at some of his stuff, he has a panic box. And inside the panic box is the little bitty finesse baits, crankbaits, because it catches them. I had some wonderful days on those things when things weren't working. I just wanted to cover a lot of water, and ended up saving my day with a finesse crankbait.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
And this family covers everything.
Yeah.
From the Z3 at 13 foot to the Z2 at 10 foot. Okay. Now, this is another one of those, kind of like this hits. Okay. Very good protection on those hooks. Excellent castability. 1/4 ounce bait cast like it's a 3/8 ounce bait. It literally does. Another phenomenal color pattern. Okay. This one is called Green Crawl for obvious reasons, but it's all matte.
Yeah. The mats are phenomenal.
Premium bait. You can also fish these baits very, very fast. They don't blow out. You can fish them fast. And then, of course, the Z1, which is your short little sort of square bill type bill. The Z1, 2-inch, 1/4 ounce, just like the Z2, 6-foot runner that little guy gets. And again, this color is called Wild Crawl. What a springtime pre-spawn tough bite color. Cold front cure for searching. And like we like to say on here, guys, elephants eat peanuts too.
Yeah. Yeah. And they do cast really good, but that's also a crankbait size that you can throw on a spinning rod, Nick. 7 foot, 7.2, medium action with a nice soft tip on it. That's that shallow diver. You throw it on a spinning rod all day long. Don't be afraid of that.
Good point.
Yeah.
So kind of along that lines, I want to show you another mega bass bait, and it's a shad profile bait. So I want you to think shad wrap meets mega bass.
Boy, if I ain't the time of year for it right now.
Cold front, pre-spawn, early pre-spawn, cold front, tough bite, even late winter. And the shad wrap is such a great bait. We always talk about the X-Wrap shad crankbait as being one of the best. Well, this is one of the best. And this is it's called the Eye by Eye shad. Okay, so this is a collaboration between two big brands in Japan, Amakatsu and Megabass. Eye by Eye. Aime and Ito. That's what the Eye by Eye stands for. This is the Eye by Eye shad type 3. Okay. Again, number 8 hooks, 1/4 ounce, 2 1/4, 9 to 10 feet runner, and the LBO 2 balancer weight transfer system. But much flatter sides. Okay. A very downward angle of running, and that like real aggressive type deflection that protects those hooks and allows you to fish this bait shallower, but with good protection. So this one we added in at the last second. The first 3, the Super Z1, Z2, Z3, they're all $19.99. This guy here, which is a little more limited availability, this is $22.99. Okay, so very excited to show you those again.
Other thing, Nick, about that is with those small hooks, you need a soft tip rod. You need a soft rod to be able to handle a big fish with that bait, because you don't want to pull the hooks out of their mouth. So nice soft tip, medium action, soft tip rod,
Moderate,
big time.
I throw a medium moderate.
Yeah, you can throw it on a medium moderate, something that would, when you hook them, it just gives, and you'll be amazed what you can catch on those small hooks. You'll be absolutely amazed. But if you overpower it, big heavy tip rod, medium heavy, you're gonna rip the hooks right out of their mouth. It just happens. It's just the way it is. So you got to be real.
8 to 10 pound fluoro.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I wouldn't go any heavier than 10 on those baits myself.
Perfect.
Honestly.
I'm a 10 all day long.
But that soft tip rod is a must, an absolute must. And George and I have a graphite crankbait rod that we use those baits on, and the graphite seems to load nice, with those types of bait, and you can really zing it out there real nice and get a good cast.
Casting distance is very impressive.
Yeah, you can get a good cast on those things, and then when you hook up, the whole rod just goes, whoa, and then you just fight that fish on that bend. So it's critical for that. So it's a combination, not just the baits on the finesse style of baits where you can get bites that you don't normally get when it's tough, but it's no good to get a bite if you can't land a fish. So you got to make sure your whole combination matches finesse, and that means a soft, moderate taper, medium action rod, and light line. Nothing wrong with that. What else you got, George?
I'm glad you asked. Continuing on with the mega bass theme, and I don't know. Can you get too much mega bass?
I don't think you can.
I don't either.
I don't think you can.
We're huge mega bass fans here. If you can't tell, we carry a massive inventory of mega bass, and the people have spoken. You guys love it, so we're going to keep bringing it to you. And we have the latest and the greatest. Received it today. This is unboxed, put up on the in-store system, not the website, because the quantities are very limited. And it's the new Respect Series color.
Oh, exciting. Exciting.
So let's bust one out of the pack here. Let's get it out of the pack, get a good close look of it. It's the latest Respect Series color. Literally arrived here today. And look at that. It's called GP Sakura Illusion.
Yeah, that's not really catching it right. Would you say that's fleshy, pinky, fleshy color? What would you say that is? It's kind of a strange. The camera can't catch it really, but up close.
That is
it's copperish.
Well, first of all, it almost has a
copperishy top.
It has like a rainbow sheen to it on the sides, and it's translucent, as you can see, and it's almost a cinnamon color, and it's got that cinnamon back. And it's got that pearl belly.
Pink throat. Beautiful. Beautiful.
So we have them in 110. 110 plus 1. 110 junior. 110 junior plus 1. Here's one you don't see every day. The Vision 95. This is a rarity. The Vision 95 is very close in size to the 110 junior, but yet it's a little smaller. And it's 2-hook bait as opposed to a 3-hook bait. It has a more aggressive wobble, twitch, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Very rare. There's only 4 of them. I wouldn't get too excited about it, unless you or have the phone ringing when we walk in tomorrow morning. But somebody's going to get them.
You guys are the first to know about them.
True that. They literally, this was the last order of business. Of course, Pop Max. Pop Max, of course, has the whole pink mouth thing going on. Let's get Pop Max out of the pack. I don't think we're showing, Pop Max is like that prize banty rooster that's strutting his tail feathers in the aisle. You know what I mean?
Oh, look at that
And
pink tail.
what tail feathers he has.
Wow.
Got some crystal flash in there.
Good looking bait.
2 pink feathers. That faded pink mouth. Of course, the water through the gills. Walk the dog. If you've not fished a Pop Max, this thing walks the dog as good as any walk the dog bait you own. Okay? And then, of course, Pop X. Pop X is a very, very, very subtle popper. Very quiet, very subtle.
Yeah, baby.
So that is GP Sakura Illusion. And, our quantities they're not great.
Yeah.
They're not great. I mean, we have, 24 of this, 24 of that, 16 of this, 16 of that, 12 of this, 12 of that. I feel like they were maybe not quite having as much as they thought they were going to have. And, so we got a little allocated, which is cool. We don't have a problem with that. We're all with the program.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, gentlemen, that's tackle talk tonight.
Yeah. Would you trim those feathers on that popper?
Negative.
No, leave the feathers on.
So the feather on a top water is generally, and this is just my opinion, as quite possibly the best topwater fisherman that I know.
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
I'm gonna hurl.
It's bad, isn't it? The feathers on a topwater, I mean, like, if I had to make a statement on that, I would say on your walking baits, put a feather on there. On your pop R baits, put a feather on there. And if the water's real clear and you're not getting bit and you think you should be getting bit after a while, fish the same bait without a feather and just see what happens. Once in a while,
yeah,
it happens. I'm a huge giant Dog X fan. And that giant Dog X with a feather and without a feather, there are times when it is a difference maker. But as a rule of thumb, just to keep our life simple, put a feather on. You got VMC makes a great feathered trailer. You got Gamakatsu makes a great series of feathered trailers. They do the round bend treble, which I'm very fond of. They do the tournament grade wire, the TGW trailers, tied up, beautiful feathers tied. Mustad makes a beautiful triple grip with feathers. Owner, my God, Owner makes what's called the tournament trailer with feathers on the ST36 hook. Beautiful, just friggin' beautiful selection. Buy yourself some feathers and get some 6s, some 5s, some 4s so that you can match the baits that you have and just do it.
Yeah. The dead stick in May when the first hatches come off, you got that real small white bug hatch. It comes off. It's not thick. It's a real light hatch. You'll start seeing those things come off in like the mid part of May, the mid to end part of May. And actually, if you really look close and you really watch the water, you'll see little dimpling happening, small little dimples. And let me tell you, those small little dimples just ain't your average fish. I mean, you can catch giants. And the thing I really like about a feather on a popper is just, I used a popper to attract the fish's attention, Nick, and then I just let it drift. And I just let it go, and I just let it go, and I let it go, and then I just plunk just to get it. People to, whoa, what's that? And they see that tail, This is the way I think about it. They just come up and it's just, they just like suck it right down. It's not a violent fish, like a shad blow up, where they're chasing shad. It's more of they're eating bugs. And I'm telling you, I've caught 3 and 4 pound smallies doing that.
Is that one of those deals where you count until you set the hook or what?
No, once they suck it in, they seem to get it all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't know how they get the whole thing like they get it, because it's honestly, it's just a little dimple in the water and it just pulls the bait right under. And then you see your lines, I wait till my line moves a little bit and then I give it to them, because you can pull hooks out of a fish's mouth. Because what they're doing is coming up and they're opening their mouth, creating suction and pulling that thing in.
That's a fun bite.
And that's a really fun bite. And I can't tell you how many times that dead stick in the popper in the early part of the late part of spring, the fish are spawning. You got post spawners that are out there feeding on them bugs, and the spawners are still back in the pockets spawning, but those spawners will come out and just kind of dimple the surface. You think they're bluegill. Honestly, you think they're bluegill, but when you see a hatch coming off, everything eats it. Everything will eat it. And I've caught giant fish. I mean, like good, solid, giant smallmouth doing that. And and if it wasn't for the feather, you would never get to bite. You really wouldn't get to bite at all. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anything else for Tackle Talk, George?
I'm going to cut it off right there, brother.
All right, man. Well, there you go. There's Tackle Talk
Good stuff,
for tonight. Great stuff. Great products. And you can check them all out on sfttackle.com. And we have a great Mega Bass banner on there to see all of our Mega Bass selection. And if the other thing, George, if you're looking for something in Mega Bass, we got about 3/4 of our Mega Bass online. But there's another whole quarter of Mega Bass that it's just so hard to put up because it's very difficult to find images for it. So just call us. We got some crazy stuff, man. We got like great limited edition stuff that you may be looking for. We have it. I'm telling you, we have it. Guys come in and go, oh my gosh, where'd this come from? Where'd you get that? So, just give us a call if you're looking for something in particular. We'll say yay or nay, and like I said, we got some really limited stuff here that you might want to check out. So, but anyway, that was Tackle Talk. And now, one of the things that we like to do is do our Rig of the Week. And Rig of the Week is a pretty cool thing. It's been going on now for a while. It's brought to you by Nomad Designs, makers of great hard baits, plastic baits, and jigs. And our own Greg DePalma designed the Wee Bit jig, finesse power jig, along with the machete swim jig. Phenomenal. I mean, fish catching, everybody's like just loving them to death, and they're catching fish. We got a new restock today on them. So some of the colors and sizes that we were out of, we got a new restock today. And they're just catching fish. They're a great jig. Their crankbaits are awesome, very unique, and they're built right. They're built to last forever. You're not going to wear the finish down. You're not going to wear the paint off of them. They're just built to last forever. So Nomad Designs, and also the makers of the Live Ops plastics that are out there. Great forward-facing sonar stuff, and just a perfect size. Greg really likes them for his forward-facing. So check them out, Nomad Designs. Now, last week's winner for the $25 Nomad Designs SFT gift card came in, used it up, man, loved it to death. Now, this week's winner is Andre Albernaz. Andre Albernaz, the winner of the $25 SFT tackle gift card. Man, congratulations, buddy. You're all hooked up.
It's about time he won something.
Yeah. Andre's been watching us forever, and just a great guy. He just always is doing stuff for us. He gave us a hat up there, somewhere up there, all signed by all the MLF people down on the Potomac River. and that's floating around in the shop here on display. But great OG guy from the get-go. Andre, you're the winner of the $25 gift card.
Fantastic.
Get a hold of me, buddy, and we'll get you set up with that with a online gift card.
Oh, he needs to come in. We haven't seen him in a while.
He lives like in Southern Maryland or something.
That's all right.
Like
He
that.
loves coming up here.
Yeah, he does. He's due for a trip up here, actually, Andre. You're
What did I
definitely
say?
you're definitely due for a trip up here.
What did I say?
And he always brings good presents too when he comes.
Well, that's not necessary.
It's not necessary, but
Although the cigars are always on point.
he's always right there.
Just saying. So that's great, guys. Now,
What's the rig of the week, George?
well, before I do that,
okay.
actually, you know what? Let me do that, and then I want to talk about our other contest we have going on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do rig
I'll
of the
do
week.
rig of the week.
Yeah.
So I'm calling an audible, guys. Pre-production. I was discussing what I thought my rig of the week would be, and I'm all set up. I got it set up, and right now, after Tackle Talk, I had a vision, and I thought, no, I must do this other rig of the week. So the original rig of the week, guys, that we discussed in pre-production. It's going to be next week's rig of the week.
Which
Actually takes some of the pressure off, because I don't know if you guys know this or not.
You're not going to
But there's 52 weeks in the year.
Yeah.
There is not 52 rigs. Okay.
We'll be talking about trout spinners here shortly.
No, we will not be talking about trout spinners. Okay. I don't need any more naps. Now, I do have next week's planned because I was going to do it this week, and I have the following week's planned. But this, I'm calling an audible. And here's what made me think of this. And I think you guys are going to love this. $19.99 crankbaits. $22.99 crankbaits.
Yeah.
Hell, for that matter, $9.99 DTs. $24.99 jerkbaits. Should I go on? Or did I make my point?
I think you made your point.
Great. I made my point. But here's the deal. I've been using a like pocket whopper plug knocker.
I'll get one for you.
I got it. I got it for decades. And it was originally made by a dear friend of SFT by the name of Dallas Elliott. He made a mold. He met a guy that came up with this idea. And he made a mold.
Guess where I got that, George?
Out of the jet boat.
Out of my pocket on my the coat I was wearing over the weekend.
Yeah, first you got out of the jet boat.
But that's what we carry them. We carry them in our pockets when we get in there.
Pocket whopper.
Yeah.
And Dallas got to know this old bird that came up with that, and Dallas built a mold, and we tested the different weights out. Well, Dallas doesn't make them anymore, and our buddy that inherited the mold, COVID got him, so stocks have dwindled.
Mm-hmm.
And left to our own devices, we've done what any good American would do: copy another product.
Yeah.
We have joined the tackle manufacturing industry. We get some of our best ideas from our competitors. They're a source of inspiration.
Yeah.
And in some cases, the beginning of one of our terrific storylines.
Yeah, direct knockoff. And we're not afraid to tell you that.
However, I would like to get back on point here. So I know you guys are all laughing hysterically and you need a break. Go ahead. Feel free. Take a minute.
We're ready for you to show us.
Run out to the refrigerator.
You're ready to show us.
Get you another pop. Come on back. I'll wait.
We're waiting on you.
All right, here we go.
We're waiting on you, bro.
So I have come to the conclusion that somewhere between 2 and 3 ounces is the primo weight. So I've also come to the conclusion that the disc sinker is the primo shape. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some of you may prefer the bank sinker. Some of you may prefer the pyramid sinker, but I don't. Now we're going to get a VMC number 5 duo lock snap. And I'm going to use my pliers because these suckers are hard to open. And they should be. And it's a pretty simple process. I'm going to open up the big end. Not too tricky. I'm going to open up the small end. Not too tricky. I'm going to put my sinker on the small end. And then since this is kind of permanent, I'll just kind of crimp that a little bit. Lock her down a little better. And now, when I get snagged and I can't pop my bait free, and it's a desperation act, I am going to tell you, this is 98% efficient. I've been snagged.
It's unbelievable.
I have been snagged thousands of times. Mike's been snagged hundreds of thousands of times.
That's bullshit, George. Yeah, I think it's the opposite.
I've actually worn trolling motor batteries out trying to get my had to quit fishing early.
That's such crap.
135 amp hour Dakota lithium's completely dead from chasing down my
Now, listen.
But I digress.
Now listen. When we first started messing with these things, George, remember how we used to keep track of the number, how much money we were saving?
Yeah, we had them. They were worth like thousands of dollars.
Well, it wasn't like
millions,
because eventually you lose one. Sometimes it just gets on a net or a piece of wood or a root ball is really bad. You know, where it really gets in there.
Yeah.
So
or a fishing line.
But I mean, I've had them worth $360. Honestly, the plug knocker was worth $360 because it saved me that much money. So yeah, you're going to lose some. And that costs what, George?
This sinker's like $250.
Yeah. So
and one of these snaps is like
$1?
No, like
50 cents.
Yeah. So $3.
So $3.
So if you save a lure, if you save
you pay for it.
If you save a Z2,
yeah,
you just made $16.99.
Exactly. See, that's what we did, and that's what we kind of kept doing that and doing that, and
then after that, it's all profit.
And you know, I had one worth $360. I'm not kidding you. It was like $300 or $360.
Okay,
that's just amazing to me.
It's tremendous.
This is how crazy this is.
It's insane.
Why wouldn't somebody have thousands of them in their boat?
I don't know. I know why, because you put them in your pocket and you bring them into the work.
My Jack goes with me all the time.
So here's the deal. What Mike and I do is we make up a pack's worth. So there's 6 snaps in a pack. So I'll make 6 of these up.
Yeah.
Because our boat is down to our skeeter boat's down to none.
Right.
And our jet boat's down to like 2.
2, yeah.
One of them here.
One of them.
So, it's the beginning of the season. We need to reload because if you're not getting, listen.
Yeah.
If you're not putting your baits in harm's way, I mean, you're not catching fish.
You're not getting bit.
If you let me ask you 3. I'm going to ask 3 questions to the judge. Okay, I want you guys to take a test here. Click on here, answer Y for yes and for no. Do you have a skeg on your trolling motor? If you say yes,
no,
you don't catch enough fish.
No, with an asterisk. I have a half a skeg on my trolling motor.
Do you have paint on your lower unit? And I mean anywhere from the cavitation plate down.
Cavitation plate down.
I'm not talking about the skeg.
No.
I'm talking about showing some commitment.
No.
I'm talking about
sandblasted from the cavitation plate.
I want you to show some commitment to that flat, okay? We are going to get that. Does your overheat alarm go off every time you go fishing? Okay. If you answered yes to these, then you're in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you should have a plug knocker.
Yes, you need a whole bunch of plug knockers because you're going to say, well, I may have to go to SFT again, but you, sir, are going to work.
Yep.
And you will catch more fish. You'll be very surprised how often. I said 98%, and that's no exaggeration. I may have exaggerated on the paint from the cavitation plate down. It's probably from the prop.
It's pretty good
down.
In wood, it's a little less, but I'm telling you, man, the thing's unbelievable. Now, my brother, with his,
I carry backups,
greatest
of different styles.
I'm just going to tell you this: if you drop one down and you're shaking it around and you're doing everything you can, and it doesn't pop the lure off, don't put a second one on there and drop it down and think that the extra weight is going to pop it off, because guess what you're going to do, Nick? You're going to lose two.
Yeah, you're making it worse.
Yeah. Well, this guy right here has done that not once, not twice, but multiple times. I've seen it. Yeah,
it was a good lure.
It was a good lure.
It was a prize winning.
He's like, I think I can get it with another one. And I'm like,
if it was a hog,
no.
it was getting a blue ribbon at the state fair.
It's amazing how, it's amazing. All you need is one. Drop it down. It's going to work for you all the time. If it doesn't, don't try to.
All right, Mike.
Make something else.
I want Mike. I need Mike to tighten it up a little bit. He's getting excited.
I'm not.
Tighten it up. I need you to really break down the key important methods to using this bait, this knocker. What's the number one most vital thing?
The big thing is to get straight over top of your bait. So you want to really get up to it. It's some situations hard, windy, current, but you got to get right on top of it. You put that bend in the rod, get a nice stiff line, you hang it on there, drop it straight down, and then when you feel it hit the bottom, you work it a couple of times and it just pushes it right out. You heard us say this before, Nick. When you are fishing and you're getting snagged, the worst thing you can try to do is pull and yank.
Oh yeah, set that hook.
Pull and yank. Yeah. I mean, when you're pulling and yanking, it's just not good.
Don't do it.
The first thing you do is you
boomerang,
get the nice stretch in the line. You're not like pulling it in. You're just kind of tightening up to it and you're shooting that down there. If that doesn't work and you're like, well, this is not a grub or Ned rig, I got to go in for this. Then you prepare yourself, get that ready, come right up on it. And what's nice about this is you don't have to have two hands. So you can reel, you can do it yourself. You can take up on your trolling motor, you can clip it on, then you can reel tight, drop it in the water, and you can do it all yourself without having, two hands tied up, with a rope and all that kind of stuff. It just goes down there and you just one pop, you got to give it some slack so it pushes away from the rock or it pushes away from let the weight push it away from there. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing how it works. So,
well, and I agree totally. The funniest thing I ever saw with this was a winter trip that we took on the Susquehanna River. One particular winter when it was like ungodly warm at Christmas time. And yeah. we should have been arrested for the amount of fish we caught, but Mike and Corbin were down in this, like there was no way out. It was only one way in and one way out. And they were absolutely, I actually stopped and watched. They were absolutely just pounding fish on a jerkbait. And Corbin gets the last of the killer jerkbaits hung up.
No, I did.
Oh, Mike did.
I did. And I was like, it was on the end of a long, long drift, George.
Yeah. And there was no going. You couldn't get over top of it.
Yeah.
So Corbin yells,
I got it.
I got it. So he jumps up on top of the outboard cowling.
Yeah.
For elevation. He's standing on the cowling. He's got his rod fully extended above his head. And this plug knocker, he deploys it. It's got to go like 100 feet.
It's
and he just keeps
legit.
He keeps doing this process. And every time he does it, that plug knocker somehow
it gets closer.
It
keeps getting closer because it's pulling the line to the bottom and it keeps getting closer.
You couldn't get any higher. You can't get any more elevation. He's literally standing on top of an outboard cowling. Like
I'm like,
popping, shaking.
like, Corbin, just break it off, man. I'm getting it back. You watch.
That plug knocker got down in there and knocked it loose.
And knocked it loose.
That's
I couldn't
awesome.
believe it, man. I could not
That's
believe
the record. Now, but you do, in all seriousness, you do want to get over top of your bait, and you do not want to drop it until you're over top of your bait. That first impact of that plug knocker is often what does it. So you want to hook it on your line.
You want to give it a little bit of slack.
You want to get over top of it.
Right when it hits the bottom.
Get over top of it. Drop it. When it hits the bait,
just give it a little bit of slack.
Just shake your rod a little bit like that. You don't have to get violent.
No.
And I'm telling you,
it's amazing.
9.8 times out of 10.
If you don't sink the bait in on the initial.
Yeah, if you're jerking and burying the hooks, we can't help you.
Yeah, we can't help you with that.
We'd have to go,
your percentage goes down to 30 or 40%.
That requires the 15-foot telescopic pole or the David Fritz, David Fritz plug knocker.
I thought that was the Bill Dance.
Triangle David Fritz plug knocker.
Oh, yeah.
From Lewis.
Yeah, right.
That thing's a beast, but you got to get the line out and drop it down. This is 98%.
On the next show, we're going to talk about getting lures out of trees and the Corbin Gottwalt method of getting them out of trees, which is pretty special.
Well, he's good at it.
He's good at it. All right,
I wonder
George.
how you get good at that.
All right, George. Tell us about this other great contest that we're doing with another fantastic company that we absolutely love.
Oh, we have a tremendous company that we work with. They sponsor our kayak tournament. Their rep is, he's one of the best reps in the business.
Yeah. Good guy.
And it's Rapala, who is a great friend of SFT's, many, many years. Good outfit. Great baits. I don't have to tell you about their baits. They're all spectacular.
Yeah.
Crush City.
Rapala DTs.
VMC, all the VMC products. Suffix.
Unbelievable.
Well,
just great stuff.
They are always supporting us, courtesy of our great rep, Charles. He doesn't like his last name said in public, so we're not going to say it. And he put together this nice pack for us with chug bugs. Oh, shoot.
The chug bug, Nick.
3.
Are you freaking kidding me with the chug bug?
3 chug bugs. OG walkers.
Jerk baits.
We got the new snare. Which was one of the hottest lipless baits this spring. 3 of those.
3 snares.
Look at those colors.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Look at this. We have the new DT12. Three DT12s. We have 3 packs of Crush City.
There's another one down the box. All kinds of stuff down in there.
We have 3 PXRs.
Beautiful.
How
do you win that, George?
What is this? 45.
You said it was well over $200.
75. Yeah, if it's not over $200, I'll make it over $200. I just ballparked it. So what you got to do is either online, on your online purchases and your in-store purchases. So everybody's included.
Yep.
Now we're 1 week in.
Yep.
We're 1 week in. We got one more week. Next Thursday night, we're drawing this right after Tackle Talk. Rig of the Week.
Yeah. What do you got to do?
You got to buy 3 items that the Normark family of companies sells. And we sell a lot of their items. Storm.
Yep.
Rapala.
Right.
Crush City.
Right.
VMC. Suffix. VMC.
Right.
They have more companies, Oh, Blue Fox Vibrex
Blue
spinners.
Fox Vibrex spinners. Yeah.
You buy 3 of anything, mix, match, whatever. As long as it's 3, you're going to get a ticket. We're going to put you in the bucket. We have the bucket over there. It says Rapala drawing on it.
In a Rapala bucket.
In a Rapala bucket. Next Thursday night, we're going to draw.
Yep.
We're looking to get, we have a lot of entries. We're looking to get a lot more. So,
yep.
Let's get going here. Let's
take advantage of it.
Start spinning that website up.
It's a
Let's
great
ramp
prize.
it up. Come into the store here. You know, if you want to build some plug knockers, buy 3 packs of Duolock snaps, you're in a contest.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with building these plug knockers, if you're doing it and you want us to help you, we don't have the sinkers on our website.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to call us.
Call us, yeah.
If you're coming in the shop, we'll hook you up, show you how to do it, how to put them together. But yeah.
There you go. Plug knockers.
Contests galore.
Contests.
I don't know how you fit it
drawings
in your week.
If you want to get in on the Nomad design drawings, Nick, what do you got to do?
All right. If you want to get into the Nomad design drawing, you have to like and comment on this post. You also have to share this post. So the first thing I would do is I would like it. I'd go down below. I'd comment. And what you want to do is you want to tag Nomad Designs on there. Really simple. Look at the other comments on there and you'll see guys doing it. Then you want to share this post. That's going to get you in.
That'll get you in. Yep.
Now, the other thing you should be doing just for so is you should be sharing and tagging some of your friends. You know,
bring them along for the ride, man.
Absolutely.
You never know what's going to happen here on Tackle Shop Live. We're always looking for some new meat to screw up your mind, make you crazy, have a great time, learn a bunch of cool stuff, and just really enjoy, a night of tackle talk and tackle and fishing tackle and fishing and just have fun. That's what it's all about. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your aunts, tell your uncles, get it going.
Guys, I want to talk about some of these tournaments that are going on and that concluded last week. But before I do that, I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman the other night, non-fisherman, who thought, what we were doing with youth was spectacular. And I'm like, hold on. We're only facilitating. We do a lot. We do a lot, which we don't need to talk about. But what I want to talk about is for the last 3 or 4 years, we brought up on this show one time about if you have tackle that you're no longer using, that's decent tackle. We're not looking for you to clean out your garage, okay? But if you have decent tackle that young anglers could benefit from using, bring it in here and we'll be a collection point. And then we have the contacts with youth bass clubs. We have the Great Falls Bassmasters in Patterson, New Jersey, who do all kinds of youth events, like 4 or 5 a year. And we have young anglers that come in the shop here that we give a little boost to your stuff too. We have a bunch of you guys, and you know who you are, and I know you don't want your names mentioned, so I'm not going to mention your names. But thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and tonight's your shout out for all that you've brought in and all that you've done. We have
a lot of people have done it.
We have guys on the show
That's
here
great.
that come in here and buy gift cards to give kids.
Yeah.
It's very pay it forward stuff.
Yeah.
And there's multiple venues that this stuff goes to. There's youth clubs locally. There's youth tournament clubs that are part of an adult club. There's the guys in Great Falls Bassmasters and Patterson and what they're doing with inner city youths. There's young anglers that come into our shop. Maybe their mom brings them in or somebody brings them in that doesn't fish. And, they get to buy a few things. And you know what? They might end up with one of those gift cards. They might end up with 2 or 3 of those baits.
Mm-hmm.
We have guys bringing in rods, reels.
It's a great deal.
And we just want to we just decided after that conversation I had, which was last week, Sunday, I want to say, the non-fishing gentleman that brought it up. I just wanted to, it kind of brought it back from, we don't mention it enough, but thank you. The Tackle Shop Live guys, the SFT guys, we thank you guys and gals for what you're doing.
Yeah.
We have filled pickup trucks with rods, tackle. If you think I'm exaggerating, no.
Yeah. And George, to your point, what's so cool about the fishing world and the people that are in it, look at the professional series right now. Who's making up a lot of the positions? It's the young guys.
Yeah.
How many of them young guys got started because people gave?
Yes.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You could have made somebody's day. Now they're in an elite series. You just don't ever know.
It's like any sport. There's some sports that are really expensive to get into. Hockey's one of them where you got to buy all that gear. Well, fishing is one of them too. It's hard for the families to come up with the money to get the guys, the kids, the right gear. So this is just a jump start to alleviate some of that pain and get those kids out there, man. I tell you, it's really neat. George and I have been doing this for a while, even before all this, and it's neat to see where these kids are nowadays and how far along they've come and how many of them gone to college and are fishing in the college ranks, starting from little squirts running around in here. So we've been at this 35 years. So we've seen this whole thing happening. It's really cool to see it. And now more than ever, it's really taken off. So
awesome.
And all of you with your donations and your time. I mean, guess what?
Yeah. Kudos.
Really appreciate you guys.
You guys are awesome.
So yeah, I just wanted to shout you all out.
Shout out.
I know you don't want your names mentioned. You guys are all humble.
Shout out.
You're paying it forward. We're humble to be the collection point for you.
We'll do it for you.
And it's like we tell everybody, look, there's some people out there that wanted you to have this stuff.
Yep.
And they love to fish.
Yep.
And they love that you love to fish. So
we don't take any credit for it.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
All right, Big G.
So, we have had some interesting stuff going down at these tournaments. Political, not political, but some awesome, fish learning. Last week we did a show called Down and Dirty Spring Fishing. Getting shallow.
Yeah.
How do we do it? And we've the way we learned it is from the pros. Well, the pros put it on full display. We had Jason Christie win that Tennessee Tom Bigby.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
With 58-2. Now, what we had going on here was we had pre-spawn, post-spawn, bedding fish, and a badass shad spawn.
Yeah.
Our very own Greg DePalma sent us a picture. And I don't even know if it'll translate to the camera.
Well, he's got it on his website too, or on his Facebook. It's a really great picture. You got to see it.
It's an awesome picture. I mean, it was
Greg DePalma, GDP Fishing on his Facebook page. You see it real nice.
Yeah, it's a great picture.
And like his Facebook page.
It highlights the effect of a shad spawn. And
Crazy.
if you look at how these guys caught these fish, I'm going to tell you the top two things that they did. They threw a spinnerbait and they threw a swim jig, and not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
I mean a swim jig.
Yeah.
We don't
spinnerbait.
We don't give the swim jig or the spinnerbait the credit that it deserves. And what I found interesting, guys, while this crazy shad spawn was going on, some competitors were fishing black and blue. Some competitors were fishing white. You know what that tells you? They're gorging.
Right.
Gorging on shad. And when you see Greg's picture,
it's unbelievable.
See if you can
count how many shad are
put on social media, on our social media pages, how many shad you see in that fish's mouth. Yeah. And I mean, I think some of them are still alive.
Yeah. Oh, I guarantee you they're alive.
You want to know something else, George? It was cool to see the Alabama shake going on.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. There we had some shakers. and we have some non-shakers. Bill Lowen does not Alabama shake.
No.
I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you right now, there ain't a lot of people other than people from Alabama on the Coosa River that shake a jig like that.
Yeah, but the guys were shaking that ended up at the top.
Well, I don't know about Jason Christie because I didn't see if he was shaking or not the shaking.
I don't think he threw the jig a ton. He did throw it some.
He did.
Spinnerbait.
Yeah, he threw a lot of spinnerbait. He's a spinnerbait chucker. River fishing.
John Garrett.
Tennessee River with a spinnerbait.
Was John Garrett shaking?
I don't know if he was or not.
Third place.
Yeah.
You know what? He was only less than a pound out of second place. And he was all in on the swim jig.
He had a big bag that final day.
He was all in on the swim jig. And you know, if you look at those top, and I made notes on first, second, third, and I made notes on change page. Last page in the book, people. We're gonna have to start a new book.
Uh-oh. You have
Fifth.
another book?
No, I'm gonna reach out to my associates. So I looked at first, second, third, and fifth. And I'd like to, I know Mike wants to talk about fifth, and I'm going to get there for him.
Yeah.
But I'd like to point out first, spinnerbait swim jig, flipping a creature. Second, crankbait, square bill, KVD 1.5, arguably one of the best square bill crankbaits ever made. Spinnerbait, flipped a creature. Third place, 2 different swim jigs, flipped a creature.
Yeah.
Flipped a rage bug, flipped a rage bug. Dakota E-Bear, flipped a rage bug. Fifth place, my man, Alabama Shake Wesley Gore. He was swim jigging with a Nomad swim jig with a Z-crawl, which is what they do in Alabama.
Yep.
And that kind of petered out.
Yeah.
So he went to what, Mike?
Well, it's funny because I was doing videos, George. I started a while ago doing videos on trending baits that will flat out catch fish, that are kind of coming back into the scene. And I'm telling you, I've talked about this. You can go back through my videos. I talked about this 2 months ago. And I said that you guys are missing out on a bait. You're missing out on the lizard. Now, I didn't necessarily talk about fishing this lizard the way this guy was fishing this lizard. But in the springtime, you can't these things still, I mean, are fish catching machines.
You are missing the boat if you don't fish the lizard.
These things are catching fish to this day like they were from day one, and nobody's talking about it. So I'm bringing, I have a series going like old school trending baits or trending products that are really catching fish, and this was one of the first ones I talked about. But however, this fella decided, Wesley Gore, he's
Alabama shaking machine.
Yeah, his bite went away, so he Texas rigged one of these with a lightweight, an 1/8 ounce, 8-inch lizard,
5.0 Superline EWJ.
Yep, with a little 1/8 ounce weight.
Yep.
And he threw that sucker out there and swam it like it was a swim jig, and he knocked the freaking
knocked the scales off of him.
So very, very versatile. A lot of action. You got the 4 legs and the tail, and I mean that was just something different.
He went with an 8-inch lizard.
That's an 8-inch.
Yeah, we typically fish a 6-inch.
I fish a 6-inch. Yeah. We Texas rig it and we Carolina rig it, Nick, this time of year.
Oh,
we Carolina the heck out of it this time of year. It's just a great pre-spawn and spawn bait. And if you drag that thing across a bed somewhere on a big grass flat,
it's on.
Game over.
It's on like bing bong. You know what else was curious about that tournament, fellas? The chatterbait did not play. I mean, it was in the top 10. It made a showing, but it did not play like it normally would. You know, that was a shallow power fisherman's dream.
Yeah.
And normally we'd be like, chatterbait. We're talking swim jig and we're talking spinnerbait. Come on.
Yeah. Greg was telling us that first thing in the morning is when he did all of his damage because those shad spawn was happening. And he said, we can't really say it how he said it, but he basically said the shad spawn started happening. The fish started blowing up on them, and I caught every single one of them. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Cleaned out the whole entire pocket on those shad.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. You just said about the chatterbait not really playing as good as some of the others.
It didn't play as much as you would have thought.
Why do you think? Why do you think, in your opinion, sometimes it's the chatterbait, sometimes it's the swim jig, sometimes it's
Well, I can tell you why, in my opinion, it happened here.
Mhm.
That's a great question, by the way. If you recall, they had a hell of a cold front come through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
That's
you know,
exactly what I was going to say.
going back to what we talked about for ad nausea tonight, sometimes you got to finesse crank them.
Yeah.
Well, a swim jig is a finesse chatterbait.
Well, not only that, George, but if you look at the spinner baits they were throwing, Nick, they were kind of finesse spinner baiting them with the small blades, the little tiny blades.
4.5 Colorado.
There was only one guy I saw throwing a double willow in the
Dakota
top.
Ebear.
Yeah, that was throwing a double willow. Everybody else was throwing like a small willow Colorado, or like Christy was throwing a single blade. Of course, he does that all the time.
He does,
and he knows about that bite that time of year. But he was kind of stepping back because of the cold front, and it was still flashy enough to draw him in, but it wasn't like over the top.
It's kind of like the old school slow roll.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Great tournament. Very exciting.
Yep.
Really wanted to shout out that swim jig.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys were fishing the cross style trailer. So, a lot of times on swim jig, we're either going to go cross style trailer. Okay, there's your typical Nomad machete, 3/8 crawl. Green pumpkin crawl.
Yeah.
But a lot of times also, which I was really surprised, I may have learned something here. I can't wait till, we have certain areas around here, we have a minnow spawn.
Yeah.
Other areas around here, we have a shad spawn.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to find out if I've been making a horrific mistake my whole life. Because I tend to go with the little swim bait trailer. The Little Dipper from Reaction Innovations. And when I see them on the shad, I go white. So now I have to rethink my options. And I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
To better myself on
All right.
this.
We need to.
That tournament was a classroom episode.
If you saw the shad that were in the bass of Greg DePalma's, they weren't real big ones.
No.
They were
that size.
They were little guys. So there was a lot of options, and maybe that crawl was a little smaller, a little more compact.
The other thing about the crawl is it'll keep your bait higher in the water column.
Shout out for Mike Iconelli too for doing having a great tournament down there. So nice to see that, and how great his coverage was. Did you guys? I mean, he's just great at it. He just explained everything and really just great.
He's
say
a true
what
ambassador of the sport.
honestly, say what you want about him, but I've always said that he is a teacher of the sport, and I love that about him. And congratulations to Mike Iconelli. It's great to see that, see him in the top 10, back in the limelight, and how great he really is. It just came right back, just right in your face. This is why I'm Mike Iconelli.
And that river really set up good for him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, and those guys went down in pre-practice.
Yeah.
You look at how hard they worked down there. Iconelli and Greg DePalma was down there with them.
Yep.
They stayed together, and both had great showings. Very, very, Greg ended up great, top 25 or 27 or something like that. Beautiful, great points, and hard work.
And another guy we got to give a shout out because we don't get to talk about it anymore. Mark Menendez was in the top 10.
Oh yeah,
you never really see him in the top 10
and that was great. That was great to see that. Just great to see the grinders, grinding it, and the way that they won, and the way that Christie did it. I mean, listen, I saw Zona called him out and said he's going to win it at the beginning of the show, and sure enough, he came on and won it. So,
who did you guys have going in the last day?
Well, I mean, it was to me.
I had Fighter.
Yeah, I just don't know how they can beat Christie doing that because Christie was just on it,
They
man.
were sharing water too.
They were sharing the same spot, and but Christie was just whacking his clock.
I thought E-Bear,
Did you? He was on a late bite.
and he tore it up too.
He did do good.
George, I got to ask you a question, and I do this every year. Okay. Can you believe that the elites are 3 tournaments in already?
Normally I say no, but this year I say yes.
It's going quick.
And I really don't like the way they scheduled this past tournament on 10 Tom and this next tournament on Arkansas River.
They're like going back and forth.
I
They gotta
really
drive a lot.
I really think
Yeah.
I'm beginning to believe that Bass as a company has way overvalued its what they feel is their market share and what they feel their clout is.
Like their appeal.
Their clout. Like
Their power.
what you're doing to your anglers,
The
okay?
power of bass, you know.
What you're doing to your anglers. So you're asking a bunch of anglers to drive, 12 to 16 hours, fish a tournament, drive 12 to 16 hours home, and then leave in less than a week and drive 12 to 16 hours to the next tournament
Yeah.
or 20 hours.
22 hours.
Well, if you
Whatever.
Yeah.
Depends where you're from.
you can look at it.
Depends where you're from.
You can look at it a couple ways.
Well, that's the way I'm looking at it.
Well, here's the way I'm looking at it. If you're a full-time fishing guy, right, and you see that break in between, and all of a sudden there's an open in the middle, right? I mean, yeah, it can either drive all the way home and sit at home and then turn around, drive all the way back, or I can go over and fish an open.
I mean, that depends on the individual angler's situation.
Eh.
Maybe they should fish an open. Maybe they should go pre-fish, whatever. But
I'd go fish a tournament.
you're missing my
I'm not driving all the
you're
way down
missing
there.
my whole point. My whole point is
Maybe that's what they're thinking.
No, that's not what they're thinking. They don't give a damn about their anglers.
Yeah, maybe.
No, they do not give a damn about their anglers. Their polygraph guy, I mean,
Well, that's
he
a
wouldn't
bunch of crap.
pass. He wouldn't pass a polygraph.
That's
okay?
that's the crazy side
That's
of the
just
story.
telling me they don't care about their anglers.
probably
And
right.
if I may, but they do the 2 back-to-back tournaments, which is great. Okay, we're not in a Fortune 500 business here. We're in a scratch and claw existence business.
Exactly.
And, right now, the way things are going in our country, unfortunately for these anglers, our fuel prices are spiking.
That's a couple $1,000 for them.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
can we just have some back-to-back tournaments that are maybe a 4-hour drive apart or whatever have you? Can Bass get their
Well, they did well with the first 2.
well they
Yeah.
they always do well, but this time here they said, you know what?
Yeah. I think there's
Easter.
another.
I think it's because it was Easter.
I think, yeah, and I think there's another break in between too. But it's a lot longer, so they have a lot longer break.
You
Well,
hit
that's
the nail-
different.
you
That's
hit the nail
different.
on the head too. That this opened this.
Yeah.
Kind of did
Yeah.
it probably.
I think it was perfect. I mean, if I was a touring angler and I'm down in Tom Bigby, and there's a open on Eufaula, 6 hours away, 4 hours away, whatever it is, and then the next following week I have 1 week to lay over, and then the next following week I got to be there for practice. I'm going to fish that.
No, you don't have a week to lay over.
Yeah, you do.
No, next week is the elite.
Yeah, so you have, you go over there, you fish that tournament, opportunity to win, then you come back over to that, and you don't leave the area. If I was a touring angler and that was my job, that's what you do.
I totally
I
Ken-
know, I know,
I
get
cannot
it.
agree with you.
I
on
get
that.
it. I get it. I
For
get it.
some people, that's what you do.
That's what you do.
Other people may go and pre-fish.
Or go pre-fish
Okay.
somewhere.
Other people may have to go home.
Yeah.
But you're not a touring angler. So for
Yeah.
you to that's
Nah.
not right.
No. I can't.
No, you're not a touring angler.
I know though. But look at the guys. Look what it takes, George,
You
to
ever
be a
hear of
professional.
armchair quarterback?
Yeah, and you would say the same thing if you weren't on the air here. You would.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, because we talked about this.
No.
Just telling you.
I mean, if it was me,
I'm just
I
telling
would
you.
probably go fish an open or something or pre-fish.
If it was me, I wouldn't be
But
doing it.
I'm
not doing it.
I'm not going to say that's what's right for every single elite pro.
They do have a week layover.
That's kind of ridiculous.
I'm saying that in this situation, and you're saying about driving all over the freaking world costing thousands of dollars, I would go fish a tournament that's 4 hours away and save me $1,000 and then put that money into that entry fee and try to win $100,000. And then go back 4 hours and fish a tournament on the Arkansas River and giving myself some opportunity. And I'm away for a month.
Guys, did you see what we got going on at this open in Lake Eufaula? We got Yumming Gayo attempted to track another angler with some sort of tracking device.
Oh my God.
I don't know if he was watching like We Own the City or what he was up to.
It's never going to end.
He's like the gun task trace force or something.
It's never going to end.
Yumming Gayo. Well, I'll tell you what, it ended for Yumming Gayo.
Yeah, it did.
My man he didn't get
a penalty or something like that. No.
He received the highest honor that Bass can bestow, a shitbird.
You're done.
He got a lifetime ban.
Hey,
you're done.
You know what's funny? Like the guy sitting in the room.
Yumming Gayo, you're not eligible for the
You're
SFT
done.
SummerSlam.
But he's sitting in his hotel and he's thinking of ideas to win a tournament, and this is his best idea.
I
I'm
mean,
really not getting on anything, so let me go out here and slap some trackers on some of these boats.
wonder how many you put out there.
Well, they're expensive, first of all.
What exactly is it, George? Like
I don't think they're that
I don't know
like a
what kind of
device?
tracker he was using. He
Oh.
could have been using, I mean, a guy like Yumming Gayo,
You get
it
them on.
sounds to me like he could have been using an air tag.
Yeah, you can get them like on whatever those places are, those online places for nothing because people put them on their
That's called an air tag.
an air tag. They put
They're
them on
not,
all this
they're
stuff.
not
and
as accurate as like.
well, they're pretty
Sundays,
damn
your
accurate.
boat sitting
Well,
at the
there's-
hotel waiting for tournament night. You better look for trackers the next day.
Yumming
All right.
Gayo should have went and got himself some of that. Like
All
he
right,
should have
people.
went. He should have went to like the Second Source gun trace task force undercover superstore. Bought him. You remember the name do you remember the name of the listening mic that they used in The Wire? They bought Herc bought his own listening mic and put it in a tennis ball. And they put the tennis ball out to where the drug dealers were in the corner.
Yeah.
And they got heat from above, and they're like, "What's the name of your informant?" And he's like, "He doesn't have a regular name. He has a street name." And they're like, "What's his name?" He goes, "Fuzzy Dunlop." That's what Yumming Gayo was trying to do. He was trying to Fuzzy Dunlop somebody.
It's crazy.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us today for another great edition of Tackle Shop Live. We'll come at you next week on Thursday, same time, same fishing channel.
Bat channel.
Fishing channel, same fishing time, same fishing hole. And we'll catch you on the next Tackle Shop Live.
Sunny day, right there you took my breath away. A young and pretty, was it just a dream? The next day you called me up, you told me I'm your little buttercup. You came over and you fell into my arms. Well, I know what I feel. Please tell me your love is real. You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down, knowing I am blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat.